Hey ladies, how you doing? So I'm gonna have a little different video this time. I haven't posted in a while and I'm gonna explain to you why. I've been dealing with a little bit of anxiety and I just wanna kind of share with you, what I've been dealing with, how I've been dealing with it, and how I'm trying to, get through it. It's not an ending situation. It will end, God willing, hopefully, but I've been doing much better. I've been trying to do things to get my mind for certain things, but we'll talk about it in the video. Keep watching. Okay ladies, let's get into this makeup. I don't even put my brows on or nothing yet. I just want to start fresh. Just start fresh. So we're gonna do a little bit different today. We're gonna have a good conversation. So what I want to talk about is dealing with anxiety. A lot of you probably don't know, I've never had an issue with anxiety. I know individuals that do suffer with it, but I've never dealt with it. And I think mine came about with this whole pandemic. Now, I don't want to start talking and then I'm with my makeup and I'll be sitting looking crazy. So I'm not going to look into the camera that much. I'm going to just, do my makeup. Something different. And I'll link everything down below, so I'm not even going to tell you exactly what I'm using. So, these last couple, if you've noticed, I have not really been doing videos. And I haven't even been updating my blog or anything like that. Like pretty much after my birthday. I put a post up and that was pretty much it. When I tell you my anxiety had got through the roof, I mean, I still was going out here and there and whatnot, but it was to the point where sometimes I couldn't even function, for a lack of better words. And for anyone that may have dealt with anxiety, it's like you worry about the same thing over and over and over again. And you think about it in different scenarios. So, I thought, let me tell you, I meant to bring it in here when I was doing this video. I thought I was having indigestion, heartburn, or something along those lines. Because it would be at night, I would feel like I didn't feel like I couldn't breathe or anything like that. It felt like I couldn't get something down, like I couldn't belch. Now, for me, I do not know how to belch on my own. So, I gotta go buy me some Rolaids, some Tums. I had to take it back old school. I'm like, something gotta give because your girl can't get it together. But it was pretty much me hyperventilating, me just thinking about it, something that took me out of my comfort zone. And instead of me just allowing that moment to just pass, I was pretty much in the moment and not even letting the moment pass. It was nuts. And now I understand when people have anxiety, you're like, oh, come on, get over it, get it together. No, you have to literally accept that you're having an attack, and you have to let the attack just take its place. It can last anywhere between 5 to 10, sometimes 30 minutes. It was one evening. I was in my room. Y'all see this? Running my mouth. I was in my room and I really didn't understand why my heart was racing to the capacity it was racing. So now you got COVID going on. Anything, you sneeze wrong, you look wrong, you see a fly, you think you got COVID. I mean, that's just how paranoid, I had became. Even though you may have seen, some of you have followed me on my Instagram, I may have, been out and whatnot. But it's like you just so on edge. And I know you have to live your life, but you still have to be very cautious. And I found myself unable to live my life because I'm worrying about my kids, my mom, my family. At the end of the day, you're like, oh God, I don't want anyone to get this. But yet people that you may know or know of, it may not be directly, but you know them and they may have been through the COVID. Some people get the COVID and it's like, okay, 1, 2, 3, flu. Some people go through no taste, no smell. Okay. Some people on ventilators. Just me knowing all these different scenarios had me on edge. And it still have me on edge. I'm not going to deny that at all. It has me on edge. Like this past weekend, I went to Richmond. And you know, like I said, I have to live my life. I'm going to be very cautious. I'm going to be very careful on who I mix and mingle with, because if they're careless, then you know that's going to affect me. So, and then if I'm careless, that's going to affect them or whoever else I'm around. But you can be safe in this pandemic. You can be safe, of course, by not being in large groups. You know, of course, by not just doing different things. You know, you can be safe, but sometimes it's just so hard, and you don't want to, you know, don't want to make the wrong move. You don't want to make the wrong move. Let me know if you're experiencing this as well. Let me know if you're experiencing anxiety, if you've experienced just tough times with the whole COVID situation. You know, we all understand it, but just, you know, the fears that it may give you, you know, if it has touched someone in your family, you know, have they recovered, you know, did it get them, you know, whatever the case may be, share that below so, you know, we can have open dialogue, because if someone is affected, you know, maybe somebody else's story can definitely help the next person. And I was on the fence about even, you know, making this video, but I knew I haven't made a video in so long, and I was like, you know what, I gotta like explain, you know, that was upload, we were all, you know, having conversation. I think my last video that was really we had a lot of comments underneath, but I didn't even respond back. I had put it in my community that I was gonna respond back. Was we were talking about I don't know how I mentioned it. It was about me having fibroids, and I'm gonna do a video on that as well. And people were just expressing they have them too. They dealt when they had surgeries and so forth and so on. And if you don't have like a hysterectomy or something like that, I'm going off more deeper, y'all. You know, those things come back. That's another day. I'll have a whole story about that. But things that we deal with as women, especially in our 40s, even in your 30s, you can go through that, because that's, you know, you can go through a whole lot. But yeah, back to this anxiety stuff. So I had went and bought some Tums. We're gonna go back. I was like, I didn't realize it was anxiety when I was in my room, and I felt like my heart was palpitating. Now I do have a heart issue, so I was like, okay, maybe I'm just having, you know, a moment right now. You know, let me just calm down, and you know, let me just, you know, get it together. But it would not go away, and I felt most of my pressure in my back. So now I'm like, okay, I know my lungs is back there. I'm freaking out. I'm like, oh God, I know COVID attacks that. I'm like, I know this is not happening, but this is how my mind is thinking, and my anxiety is through the roof. Y'all, I don't wish this on nobody, because when you in that moment, I would definitely say I'm getting better now, but when you're in that moment of having an anxiety attack, it's really, really tough. And I didn't realize that, you know, about anxiety, because I never dealt with it. But I think my nerves is just so bad with the unknown if I'm going to go back to work in the office, the unknown about my youngest daughter, you know, going to school. Like we already elected to do online learning, but it's just everything. It's like, you know, if I'm not working, and I'm working, but if I'm not in the office, how do you send your kid to school when kids are being kids and they're being carefree? But meanwhile, you're home and you're about terrified. You know, in the beginning when we first stayed home, you know, you gotta go out to the store, get your essentials. Now I understand the whole big thing with the toilet paper. Y'all, I'm not even doing my makeup. Let me stop. Now I understand. You know, it didn't hit me with the toilet paper thing, like, you know, oh, we gotta get tissue. So, you know, as we're home and everything, and you know, we're going to the bathroom, you know, you're not using the paper at the job and whatnot, using the paper at the school. So now I understand why the toilet tissue is pretty much running out. Okay, these brows are gonna look a mess. I'm running my mouth. So now I understand why the tissue ran out and why people were going bananas about getting toilet paper. So now, you know, when I first stayed home, I went and got my essentials. I went and did a nice big grocery shop just to kind of have things in place. And, you know, you got toilet paper, you got paper towel, and things like that. Okay, I did that. So now things is running out, and I gotta go to the store. Like milk, eggs, bread. The simple stuff. When I would come back from the store, now you have your mask on, and in the beginning I didn't buy a mask. I was just wearing like a bandana because in the beginning they wasn't really too sure about what was going on, if you needed masks and so forth and so on. And they were saying, wear at your discretion. In the beginning, I wasn't tripping. I wasn't tripping at all. But as time went on and they was talking about the numbers elsewhere, like I seen how New York was just going bananas, and I'm from New York, and I was just like, oh my God, my friends and my families who's up there, it's a lot. It's a lot. Everybody doing well, even if you don't talk to them. You see them on Facebook, you see them everywhere, so you don't got to make the phone call because you don't saw them on Facebook. You know how you do. You don't want to make a phone call, check Facebook. So that's what I did. Everybody's good, so there's no need to, panic. But it's still a lot. So now time has passed. Now things are getting a little bit heavier. Still down here in the South, it wasn't really a big deal. Look at these brows. It wasn't really a big deal. It was still, we were still getting cases and whatnot because, you living in rural areas and whatnot. And we're not as packed up as places like Chicago, New York, Jersey, certain parts of Jersey with the buildings, everything's so tight. You're not condensed in the city part. So down here was pretty good, but then we started getting kind of out of hand down here. I started getting really, really nervous, and my anxiety went through the roof. It was to the point where I would go to the store, and when I came out the store, I was in the car like this. Because I was like, I can't believe I'm living in a time like this. It was just unbearable. And then you got people in the store wearing gloves. I think that is disgusting. Because all you're doing is transferring germs. You're touching the apple, you're touching the orange, you're doing the cereal boxes, touching the milk, you going in the freezer, you going touching, and you got these gloves on. Bad enough we have germs as it is. Now you got these gloves on. Meanwhile, you don't touch yourself when you're on your phone, you picking up groceries, you driving in the car with the same gloves on. It's just, I was just through the roof. So now I'm kind of like chilling out. So I went and bought me a BJ's card because Sam's is not too close to me, but I could get there if I wanted to, but I knew BJ's was a little bit closer to me where I didn't have to drive it maybe 10 minutes, 5 minutes, versus Sam's I had to go a little bit. So I was like, you know what, let me stay out of the grocery store because I'm about to lose my mind. So I went and got me a club card. So now I'm in there. The one that I go to, the BJ's near me, is not crowded. Normally, an older population pretty much shop there. So I really didn't have an issue with getting what I needed, getting in and out, and whatnot. But me shopping in there was no better because I was still in a frenzy. I was still like, oh my God, I gotta get out of here. I see everybody touching stuff. Nobody don't got no mask on. Nobody's not no hand sanitizer. It was just so much for me, and I just could not take it. So what I did was I purchased, you had a limit to what you can do. So I would go in the store, purchase what I wanted to get, like if it's toilet paper, paper towel, and then I would go back out and come back in and I would do it again. Because I had nobody with me. Because I did not want to, let me use this brush here. I didn't want to come back outside. And same thing with groceries. I did not want to come outside. I just got so paranoid. And when I decided to go to Atlanta, which was after my birthday, I kind of, my anxiety was kind of calming down. But when I came back from Atlanta, honey, it was like, oh yeah, you want to go travel? You want to get on somebody's plane? I'm about to give you a real attack. When I came back, I was no good. When I tell you the pain in my back. Now you have anxiety. You just feel like you just breathing, or you just want to lay there. You want to get in fetal position or whatever. It was up to a point where I felt like I'm about to have a nervous freaking breakdown. That's how it felt. I felt like I'm having a breakdown because I was just so nervous. Even though, like I said, I had antibacterial wipes with me. I had my mask. I didn't have any gloves, but I had my hand sanitizer. I just make sure I wasn't really touching anything, you know. Just pretty much, I got on a plane. And then when I got, for those who follow me on Instagram, I went to the airport and I was like, you know what? I'm going to have me a drink. I'm going to have me a hard drink before I get on this plane. My ride was only about maybe an hour, 45 minutes from here to Atlanta. So it really wasn't a long flight, you know. I love this foundation. It wasn't a long flight at all, but it was just the fact that, you know, and then when you get on a plane, both coming and going, no one sat next to me. No one sat next to me coming and going. So I was good. My row was pretty much empty, so I was happy about that. But honey, when I got home, since I have people in my house, I wore a mask for like the first week at home. So meanwhile, I'm working from home. I'm wearing a mask because, you know, I don't know at this point because I just don't know. I don't have any symptoms, but I don't know. So I was just trying to be very cautious. I was trying to be, you know, responsible at this point because I done went and had some fun in Atlanta. In Atlanta, we wore our masks. When I took my pictures, I took my mask off. I definitely wore makeup in Atlanta. So I had several masks with me. And then there was at times where I didn't wear masks. Because certain parts of Georgia is not as high as other areas, if that makes any sense. So certain areas you didn't really have to like wear masks. I don't know. But some of the influencers that I do follow on Instagram, they wasn't wearing masks neither. And then when later on online, they were going to certain stores because now it's like mandatory to get into stores. You know, you have to wear your mask. So I was definitely paying close attention to that. But everything went good. I got past my, 2-week mark and was, quarantining for the 14 days. And then my oldest daughter, she wound up going to Atlanta, having a good time. And of course, that's your kid. You're going to worry anyway. The anxiety kicked in. Again, it was like, oh God, is she going to be safe? I know she's going to have a good time. She's going to be an adult. She's 26. But it was still like, the people that she's hanging around, are they going to be responsible? It was just a whole thing. Like, my mind is just racing. So then I said, Kelly, you can't drive yourself nuts like this because you're going to get to the point where you can't even work. And you don't want to be at home in a fetal position because you worrying yourself to death. So I had to just pretty much pray on it, let go, and just say, look, I can't have this feeling inside of me. I just can't, because it hurt so bad to worry. If you touch something, if you do something, are you gonna get it? It was just so much, and that's where I was. And then I couldn't even, to the point where I couldn't even function. I was doing my job, of course, because luckily I've been doing my job for so long that I know my job, inside and out. So, I was able to pretty much just do my job and really not get to the point where I couldn't work. But I definitely found myself getting frustrated at work. I mean, I had to apologize to a coworker because I got frustrated. I really got frustrated. My anxiety was just through the roof. Please let me know if you suffer with anxiety. I did not have to go to a doctor or anything like that. I just pretty much, I was Googling like, what are anxiety symptoms? Like, what is the deal with it? So I'm just gonna do a simple makeup look. I'm just gonna, put some makeup on. I'm gonna use just my contour palette, and I'm gonna just put some makeup. Just kind of simple. We're not doing too much. And yeah, I just was like, I was a mess, y'all. And that's another reason why I was not putting up any videos or anything like that, because I just didn't have a good space. I did express it to one of you ladies here, and I really enjoy talking to you guys. Some of you ladies are now on my personal Facebook page, which I do like, because you get to know me. You get to know the other side of Kelly. You may know me here playing in makeup, couple little outfits, having good conversation, but to actually see me in action, having a good time, and know that I'm just a regular person, just like anybody else. We all like to have a good time. Cut up, drink, have a good time, say a few choice words, how that go. But yeah, this palette is just so bomb. You could do a whole makeup look. But yeah, it was really bad. And I said, you know what, Kelly, maybe if I talk about it openly and not feel like something's wrong with me, I'm crazy or something like that, I'll feel better. Because sometimes you get kind of like, oh, I don't want to talk about it, people are gonna make fun of me, people are gonna think I'm weird or something like that. And I was like, you know what, just put it out there, just talk. You ladies have really been good to me, so I was like, you know what, let me just talk to my ladies, let me just get it out there in the open and go from there. I mean, I didn't tell you my Fireboy story. We're gonna get into that this week, maybe this week or next week. So I was like, you know what, since I haven't talked to you guys, the best thing is to have a kind of, get ready with me and to kind of just have a good conversation about, what I've been dealing with, what's been going on, and I gotta tell you how I've been dealing with this whole situation. So, how I've been dealing with my anxiety. At this point, I've recently started with some of my girlfriends. Let me look in the mirror. Some of my girlfriends, I've been talking to them for one, and then we started working out, because I really wasn't sleeping at night too. So your mind is racing a mile a minute. So I started working out, just doing something like treadmill. For those of you that follow me on Instagram, you know that I recently purchased one of the Instagram these Instagram fitness influencers, instructors, whatever you want to call her. She has a online course that she does. So I purchased it, about $55. It wasn't too pricey, and I'm gonna start August 3rd. But what I've been doing is getting on the treadmill. I've been kind of slack. I'm not gonna say I've been doing it every day, but when I find myself that I work out at night, I'm not a daytime workout person. I can't do that. But when I work out at night, it kind of calms my body and I'm able to sleep. So even just doing treadmill, I don't have to do nothing too harsh, too heavy. It could be 30 minutes. It could be on a hit. It could be like, go a little fast on an incline, bring it back down. Or even if it's just a moderate 2.5 or 3.0, just like a brisk walk for like a couple of, minutes, that definitely help me. Lay off the wine for sure, because that'll take you out. Mascara and liner is on. You guys know I cannot do that while I'm talking to you. I have black stuff all over my face. and get into these lips. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. Like I said, laying off the wine and stuff, because you know, wine can definitely relax you, and champagne relaxes you, but you know how when you like you do something to fix that moment, and then when that thing wear off, then it comes back, and then it comes back even harder. Like recently I had I made a cocktail. It was with some Prosecco and stuff like that. It was really good. I just pick and choose when, because I know right now this pandemic is not going anywhere, and the pandemic, it scares me. I know it scares you or everybody else, you know, in the world. Some people maybe not, but it's just like, I know I'm not gonna be at ease until we get through this. I done broke the tip. And that's gonna definitely take a while. And I see how, you know, how it affects certain people. People with underlying issues. If it might be you know, diabetes, you know, high blood pressure, anything, heart disease. And at the end of the day, you know, a lot of people fall in that category. I mean, like, especially, I mean, I don't want to say more than the black community than the white community or any other community, but a lot of the people, let's put it this way, individuals who don't have access to health care, or individuals who choose not to care for themselves, those are the ones that might fall a little bit short. You know, you just be surprised. But I'm just a nervous Nancy at this moment. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm gonna put some gloss on. You know, I like some gloss. I didn't even put any bronzer on. I'm gonna have to fix that. I have to go back and link my last video because I did not link it. I didn't link some stuff. Okay, ladies, so here you have it. Here's my final look. Me sharing with you. I said we do some makeup and then we could talk about anxiety. I want to share that with you guys because, you know, there might be someone else out there dealing with it and don't know how to handle. Some people can handle things on their own. Some people have to go get, you know, medical attention, get something that helps suppress it, something, you know, like a pill or something like that, because there are definitely some things that can help you if you feel like it's just really, really taking over you. I was very fortunate enough that, you know, I was able to just pretty much let it subside. I'm not saying it's over, because it's not over. Some days it definitely kicks in on me and you don't even know when it's coming. It just happens to come. And for me, how I know it's coming, I feel like this sharp, I feel not sharp pain, but it's more like a tightening, like in my back or like my arm, because I have a heart issue, so I always have to be very mindful of like my left side. So if I feel like this tension or something like that, and I feel just like I just can't control it, I know I need to sit down and let this puppy just ride out. Don't fight it, just let it ride out, because anxiety can drive you nuts. It can drive you nuts. And I know how I am. I can't swallow no pills. So I knew I didn't want to go get a pill. I just knew I want this kind of oh God. I knew I just wanted to just get through it. I knew what was bothering me. What was bothering me was just the fear of what's going on in the world. Like, you know, we went from pandemic to George Floyd to everything else that trickled along the way. And you're like living in a world of uncertainty. And I live in the South, you know, even though I'm from up north. If I was up north, I probably wouldn't feel the way that I feel, because a lot of things is different up there. It's like a melting pot. But now that I'm down here, it makes you feel, you know, some kind of way. And I've been here 13 years. So it's like, whoa, you know, this is all happening so quick. And you just think about, you know, you have a kid that's living out, doing their own thing. You hope she's safe. I got my young one here who's pretty much missed out on her whole summer, and you know, a lot of things, you know, dealing with her friends and school year and things like that. So you think about that, you know. I have a mother, I have relatives, you know, you just think about the whole kit and caboodle, and it definitely drives me nuts. But I don't want to keep rambling because I done kept you here for a long time. I hope you enjoy. Please share your experiences. Share if you're dealing with anything during these times that we're going through. And you know, what do you know, we all want to play, you know, psychic and whatnot. Like, how do you see this stuff, you know, pan out from history? You know, every 20 years, like something like this comes out, you know, like a pandemic or whatnot. So it's like, you know, it usually takes about a year to a year and a half, or maybe two, for them to get like a really good vaccine to, you know, kind of get it, you know, taken care of. I think about H1N1 when that came out. You know, that was a different strain of a flu. My baby had caught that. Now I'm going to tell you another story. My baby had caught that, and you know, we had to get a different type of, you know, syrup for her. I remember it was like a red syrup, and I was so nervous. Like this like this new type of thing that's coming out. No one never had it. It kills. It takes people out. So you know, we got through that. We got through other things prior to many years ago, and I know we're gonna get through this. But so stay positive, you know. And I'm gonna share some more things with you guys. And you know, if you wanna, you know, see a little bit more, I'm sharing a little bit more on Instagram. Hang out with me over there. I'll leave my Instagram handle somewhere up here so you can check it out. And I hope my lighting is not too harsh, because I realize that, you know, my lighting might be a little bit too bright. But nevertheless, I want to say hey to all my new subscribers, hey to all my loyals. Thanks for hanging out, man. I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.